So both of these cameras rent out for around £70 a day, and I really think that these cameras can pack a punch on your next project. Hey, I am Kristian Kettner and I run StockAgent.io, that's a stock video agency. So let's start looking at the Blackmagic Pocket 6K Pro camera, so what it has going on for it. So one of the big advantages with this camera is it has a huge 5-inch screen in the back and it flips out, so you can actually see what you are filming. The old one had a screen that was stuck to it. Another thing with this screen is that it is a really bright screen, so it's a daylight screen, so it's 1500 nits, so you can see what's going on the screen even though the sun is outside. One of the other things that this camera has that a lot of other cameras doesn't have is it has built-in ND filters. So the ND filters are inside here, and it has 2, 4 and 6 stop ND filters. And that is just really cool, so you can keep your setup really small and compact. Everything within this enclosed product right here. So it's just like you have the screen you need. You don't need to rig out with an extra screen. You don't need to rig out with extra ND filters. Everything is built in. And it still records RAW. So you get the 6K RAW formats. You also get to record in ProRes if you have if you need a faster turnaround as well. So if you prefer to work in ProRes formats. Or if you are in an editing program like Blackmagic X that doesn't take B-roll. So let's take a quick look at the Sony camera. So what this camera has going on for it. So one of the things that it really has going on for it is the autofocus. This camera has autofocus that you can trust. So you don't need a dedicated focus puller like with the other camera. So this camera really has it tracks the eye super well, and you can really trust the autofocus. So another thing this camera has going on to it is it's a full frame sensor, so it's easier to get things blurred out in the back when using a lower aperture. Just to go with the screen, so this has a small screen, but the screen can flip. So if you are into vlogging, you can still see yourself while filming with it. Alright, so let's go over some of the specs for this camera here. So it's called the Pocket 6K camera, obviously, because it can shoot in 6K. So it can shoot 6K in B-RAW, and it can shoot 6K in 69 or in an ultra in a 1 to 241 format. It can also shoot in an anamorphic mode as well with a 2x squeeze. So that is, it has a lot of different options. Regarding the recording media, it can record on SSDs like this. It record on CF cards, but there's limits to what codecs you can choose regarding the recording media. So these are gonna be good for everything, and they're super cheap and fast to work with. After recording, you can just plug it into your editing machine and start editing. You kind of have everything that you want to work with as a filmmaker. On this side here we have all the ports. There's a full-size HDMI port. There's also a power input port, so you can power it from external batteries as well. This camera uses NFP style small batteries, relatively cheap. They last for 40 minutes, 45 maybe. So it's not like the old one with the Canon LP6 batteries where you were lucky if you got, I don't know, 25 minutes out of it. So the Sony camera obviously has one of the best autofocuses in the world, and the autofocus actually works in all the frame rates as well. So that is really neat. And this camera shoots up to 120 frames a second in 4K with autofocus working. So you can have people running towards the camera and they will be tack sharp at their eyes. So that is a really neat feature. Also, if you're filming at nighttime or your lighting budget is low, then this camera has the ISO setting at 12,800 that really cleans up, and yeah, it's just like shooting at ISO 640. So the ISO and the autofocus and the high-speed modes are what makes this camera really special. So both of these cameras rent out for around £70 a day, and I really think that these cameras can pack a punch on your next project in each of its different ways. Thanks for watching, and I hope I see you renting my gear on video.